It's
barrel,
it's
barrel,
it's
barrel.
it's barrel.
It's a hard barrel.
It's barrel.
Hard barrel.
Barrel.
It's a hard barrel.
It's barrel. Or not. It's barrel.
Barrel,
It's barrel.
barrel,
It's barrel.
barrel.
Barrel. Or not.
It's a straight barrel.
Do you know what that caw is?
No, it sounds familiar, but I can't place it. Please remind me.
The caw is the noise that you make when you paddle for a wave and then miss it.
Okay.
You paddle, push yourself up on your chest. Ah!
Oh my God. So who did you record for that voice? Was that you or is that Chaz?
It was a listener submitted barrel or nah. Came in from a guy named Jay Martinez, and he was talking about doing that falsetto caw when you miss a wave. And it's universal. It doesn't matter what language you speak, male, female, what age, whatever. We all just do it instinctively, you know? And so Chaz and I were making fun of his caw, and he remixed it into a song for us.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Barrel or Not is now brought to you by Buell, which is pretty exciting. Buell wetsuits, which I know you guys at Channel Islands have a couple of Buell team riders, don't you?
Yes. Notably Dane Reynolds. Who is there are there other ones?
I think Nat Young on the
Oh
team?
yeah, of course. Duh. Nat Young, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So Nat and Dane.
superstars.
And Dane, by the way, has his own line of wetsuits with Buell. So go to buellsurf.com. His line is called Subdivision, and great design suits. I've got the 3 mil that I've been rocking. So
Excellent. I have no affiliation with them, but I see him in the lineup a lot. A couple really close friends love them. They tell me that they like the price of them. That seems to be a selling point for them, and they're quite happy with the suits. So good for
I'm
Beal.
glad you say that, because even better, we can save you 25%, a quarter off
Oh,
the price on their
maybe I should,
website
yeah,
by you.
maybe I should get one.
There you go. The promo code is BuellGrit25. So go to buellsurf.com, use BuellGrit25, and you get 25% off, which is crazy.
Wow, that's big.
That's a big discount. All right. First Barrel or Not comes from a listener that you may know, actually.
Chaz, David Lee Scales, Mark McInnes here, calling from sunny 85-degree Central Oregon. Feels like summer. I'm already over it. Curious, Barrel or Not, wearing a hat at dinner. There's that great scene in The Sopranos where Tony freaks out on the kid for wearing his hat at dinner. And the missus and I were out at a nice establishment a couple weeks ago, and there was some hooligan wearing a hat at dinner, and it just made me sick. Not like a brewery or a food truck or a pizza joint. I'm talking like a nice sit-down dinner. Barrel or Not. Curious to hear your thoughts, and hopefully you can drop some knowledge on the hat wearing at dinner listeners out there. All right, guys. Keep up the good work. Adios.
Lead us off.
Yeah, that's a hard nah. No. I'm open. I'm totally into libertarian ideas. You do you, I do me. Leave me alone. But there's something, especially in our country. I can't speak for other countries. There is a cultural tradition to take it off the hat. Maybe that comes from the church. I don't know the origins of it, but I was raised in it, and it just feels like the right thing to do. Unless you have some reason to do that, like the table is in a blazing sun and there's no umbrella, and maybe you're bald or you have skin cancer. So I'm going with no. What about you?
I'm going absolutely nah. There's a couple of like decorum things of, traditional, like there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And I like honoring those things. I think what happened though is, it used to be a sign of, like, if you work in a field, you wear a hat. And if you work in an office, you wear a suit. And so when you go out to a fancy dinner, you wear the suit, and there'd be no reason to wear a hat unless you were, you would then be a menial laborer. That's a representation of that if you were then wearing a hat. But things flip-flopped a while ago, 15, 20 years ago, to where the richest people in the world wear cargo shorts and hats and hoodies and sandals, the tech billionaires.
In Carhartt.
And so yeah, exactly. And so the whole culture and the whole he's wearing a hat and sunglasses, that actually means he's a billionaire from Silicon Valley as opposed to the guy who's working in the field. So everything shifted and it's all a mess now, and I don't understand who's who and what's what. You can't basically judge a book by its cover anymore. But I like the idea of still honoring the way of the past. I like the idea of, dressing respectably when you're traveling on a plane instead of wearing sweatpants and Crocs, or even worse, bare-toed, bare feet with sandals.
Yeah. There's, some traditions need updating for certain reasons because, they're highly offensive. There are things that are real obvious, but wearing a hat, that's just such like an easy one. I don't think that's a big deal to like, unless you've got some medical condition that requires you to wear the hat,
You know what I think it is too? The reason why it's offensive is you're blocking your face, and it's respectful to other people to look them in the eye and to, not try to conceal anything.
Yeah.
It feels like you're trying to be dishonest with me if you're wearing the hat and I can't see your eyes or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Especially when let's say you go to put the fork in your mouth, your head's down. I can't see your face at all. It's gone. So that could be a problem. So,
but I love the idea of Mark McInnes stewing. He's at a fancy dinner with his wife, spending they're looking forward to it. They're spending money on it, and it's ruined because there's a dude over there wearing a hat. That's funny.
Yeah. And I know Mark not super well, but I guess I was surprised on that take and actually pretty stoked on it. It's pretty cool.
Hey dude, everybody gets crotchety with age. All right, well, we're going to no barrels, and PSA to any listeners out there who wear a hat when you're at a fancy dinner, take it off. Yeah. Barrel, and I thought it would come up organically. You didn't address it, so now we will. But barrel or not, gifting photos of your children. This is where, like, it's Mother's Day. You make a calendar of all of your kids' photos, print it at Kinko's, and give it to your mom.
What?
Here's a.
Oh, is it a call?
No, it's not a call. It's just.
So, I'm sorry. A little more context. This is for Mother's Day specifically, or gifting in any situation?
Any situation. Let's put it this way. For 10 years, the first 10 years of my niece's life, for every birthday, every holiday, every Christmas, I got something from my brother, a coffee mug with his daughter's picture on it, a calendar with his daughter's pictures on every month of the year. I'm not saying whether I liked it or not. I'm asking you, is it barrel or not to gift photos of your children?
I think it's a nah. It's like, where does that thing go? I don't know. It's a weird one. It seems like if you want people to have imagery of your family or whatever, I think that's nice to provide it. I think an easier way to do that is to just send a couple prints in a card, and as like, hey, here's a family update. Here's a couple photos. They're not on a mug. They're not in an expensive frame. And then, if you're inclined, like, you know what, I have a wall, or we have a piano or a mantle, it'd be super cool to put a photo of our family member right there. And then it's your call, right? I think it's a little presumptuous, like, to think that that's going to go right up on the wall. And it's almost like you're setting yourself up for disappointment. I don't know. It's a little bit of a trap. I'm going with nah. And
I'm going with nah as well, and specifically because it's replacing the gift. Like, if you're supposed to give somebody a gift for something, whatever it is, give them the gift. Don't make it about you and your own kid. It's fine, like you said, if you want to send the photo of your kid to them on just any day of the week, go for it. But give them an actual thoughtful gift. Be sentimental and think about them. Don't be thinking about yourself and your child on their day.
Or David, this brings me back to your sexy gift with the Mother's Day gift. So the only
Yeah.
way around this, right, is if you're gonna give the photos, give a legitimate gift as well. Like, like you're saying, okay,
Fair
you give
enough.
the ring and the lingerie. Okay, fine, you got a little bit of both. If you really want to do that, come up with something kind of rad, something that is useful.
I would like to state we had a technical difficulty at the show. We're not sure if it got sorted out yet, but I just want to state for the record, in case people didn't hear it, the sexy gift idea was for my wife, not my mother.
Correct.
It was she's going to get a Mother's Day gift from our child and then a sexy gift from her husband. That's what that was.
Okay.
Okay, final barrel or nah coming from a listener. Let you chime in.
Hey, Grit listener line. This is Darren from Rhode Island. So my wife and I, we split up duties in the house pretty rigidly. She has the stuff she does. I do my stuff. She grocery shops. And the other day she's like, let us know what you guys need, me and the kids. And I asked her, how come we don't have cheese sticks in the house anymore? And she's like, because the kids don't eat the cheese sticks anymore. And then I was thinking, like, well, I eat cheese sticks, like polio, string cheese. And then it got me thinking, should grown men be eating cheese sticks? It's kind of like kid food. It kept my kids alive for many years. But barrel or not, grown man eating cheese sticks. Let me know. Thanks, guys.
I can't believe the questions you guys are getting on this. This is amazing.
Because you know what's funny about it? I mean, certainly don't play all of them that come through. There's a ton that don't make the cut. But what's hilarious to me is when I'm playing this call, I literally ate string cheese off my kid's tray last night for dinner. I was like, I hope he doesn't mow through that thing because I want to bite for myself. You know what? I'm not waiting. Boom! I just took a bite. I'm not going to open one on my own, but I love string cheese. It's freaking delicious.
I was as he was saying it, I was envisioning eating it with my son. I totally love string cheese, man. Like, it's a barrel. String cheese is grown, man. It's total barrel. It's fun. It brings you back to being a kid. What is wrong with that?
So, do you peel a string off, or do you just chomp into it?
Gosh, if I don't want to devour it right away, I think I do both. I think it depends on my mood. It's, if I'm with my son, we do the little bits because it's really fun, for him. He gets super into it. But I've been known to do it on my own time to time. I'll admit it.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I did not have string cheese in the house for the last 25 years of my life. It's re-entered the house this past year. Phenomenal addition to the home. It is excellent. And he nailed it too. Polly O is the best brand of mozzarella that you can buy, and ricotta, by the way.
Yeah,
Delicious stuff.
he's on point. So I'm going barrel. That's so good.
This is why people listen to us, is because who else is giving you hot string cheese talk?
What the hell does it have to do with surfing? But it has a lot to do with life.
I mean, the reality is, yeah, it's everybody who's a surfer knows exactly what we're talking about. Well, thank you, Buell, by the way. BuellSurf.com. BuellGrit25 is the promo code. Man, good enough for Dane Reynolds, good enough for me. That's all I need to know.